What's up, guys? This is Cupson bringing you guys another video. Today we're going to be talking about my top 5 things I want to see in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 PS5, whatever you want to call it. Let's just call it Marvel Spider-Man 2, huh?
Perfect.
These are just general things that I want to see within the game. Most all of them are just like story elements that I'd love to see, but I think one of them is like a feature in the game that I would love to see. But without further ado, let's get into this. Pause, actually. What you think you doing? Just sitting there watching this. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that like button, and share with your friends, all right? Now we can get into this. All right, so first up on the wish list, we got Miles and Peter swap feature. Now, when I think of this feature, guys, I'm thinking something like Grand Theft Auto 5. You know how you pulled up that wheel in the bottom right corner of the screen and you could pick between any of the 3 characters, and then how it would zoom out and then zoom back in? Tell me how cool that would look with Miles and Peter on the PS5, and how fast it would be, how fluid. Oh my god, it could look so detailed too. Imagine like you're swinging around as Miles and all of a sudden you want to flip over to Peter. I don't know why you'd want to do that when Miles is swinging is so much better, but let's just say you want to switch over to Peter. I would want it to be like come in at any random time of Peter's day. Like let's say he's on a date with MJ, or he's taking pictures for the Bugle, and then all of a sudden we come over to him and then we hear some sirens drive by, and then that's when he's like, oh crap, I gotta suit up. So he runs over, puts on the suit, and then we swing up out of nowhere. That would be so awesome. I can just visualize it in my head. It would be perfect. Swinging on over to number 2, this one might be a little bit controversial, but I think, because as we know, they teased the symbiote at the end of the first game. Now I think instead of Peter getting the symbiote, I think Miles should get the symbiote. I know it's a crazy idea, but I just kind of feel like we haven't really seen Miles deal with anything like that. I'd love to see how Miles would handle the symbiote and handle how it affects him having to deal with the anger that comes with it. I just feel like that would be so deep and so good. Seeing how it would affect his relationship with not only his mom, but Genki, affecting his relationship with Peter. He could just snap on Peter. Man, oh my gosh, guys. I see the potential of this being absolutely crazy. All right, let's get into number 3. Now, I think I've seen a couple of other people talk about this one, but I really think it'd be a great idea, and I just want to reiterate it in case anybody hasn't heard it. I would absolutely love to see a Miles versus Peter fight. Tell me that wouldn't be awesome. I don't know who we would control. I'm thinking something like The Last of Us Part 2 Abby situation, even though that's, I mean, hard, different, really not good comparison, whatever. Maybe we're switching back and forth between the 2 throughout the fight. I don't know how that would add some like emotional weight to it. Like I feel like I'd want to connect to one of them in this, and like obviously you're gonna want a certain one to win, most likely Peter if Miles has the symbiote. Whichever one of them has the symbiote, I just think that would be absolutely awesome if we even get the symbiote on ourselves in this game. I feel like we might be making a lot of assumptions here too, but I also feel like if we don't get the symbiote, I'm gonna be a little bit let down. But now I'm getting off topic, I'm rambling. Just to see the 2 of them fight, just to see how close they've come throughout the first game and Miles's game, even though Peter wasn't really present for that. Just seeing how close their bond has grown, and then to have it be not exactly tarnished, but just to see it be tested so hard like that. I would love to see that. Ooh, guys. Number 4. I love this one. So I want Gwen Stacy to show up in this game. I know Peter has been Spider-Man for 8 years so far already, so one could already assume, and plus the fact that he's already dating Mary Jane, one could assume that he already had a thing with Gwen and Gwen has already passed away. We don't know that for sure. I mean, I would figure 8 years into being Spider-Man, he would have already fought Dr. Octopus, you know, and potentially even Venom. I would think that all these, and Lizard, I would think that all these would have already happened, but I guess not. So who knows, maybe he hasn't seen Gwen yet. And plus, I just love whenever in any sort of entertainment medium, whenever MJ and Gwen are both present, I love it so much. adds like this perfect love triangle of you don't know who Peter is going to go with first. Perfect example, Spectacular Spider-Man. That show is absolutely amazing. They set up this whole love thing between Peter and Gwen. Gwen has a crush on Peter, but then MJ shows up and Peter hardcore falls for MJ. So you're like, oh, they're just gonna skip right over Gwen. But no, MJ's not really looking for that kind of thing right now. And then Peter and Gwen end up smooching, you know what I'm saying? Oh my God. That show ended too soon. Again, I'm rambling, but that is just an example of what they could do with Gwen showing up. I know it would really test Peter and MJ's relationship. That might be not be something that we want to see exactly, because I know their relationship has already been tested through the roof, as we saw throughout the beginning of the first game. MJ and Peter were already on the rocks, but I just really think that would be so cool to see, just that love triangle of Gwen and MJ, and you wonder who Peter is going to end up with. All right. And finally, we are at number 5, the last of the bunch. Now this one, I could do without this one, especially if they have a different way of wanting to do it, because it is something that we have seen before. I would want a symbiote. I would want the ability to swap between the black suit and the classic suit, whether you're playing as Miles or as Peter. And we saw a feature like this, or not like it, exactly like it, in Spider-Man Web of Shadows. If you played that game, oh my gosh, I really think that's an underrated Spider-Man game. I love that game so much. Just the amount of different abilities that you had when you would flip-flop between the black suit and the classic blue and red was just amazing to me. I don't know if we'd integrate a sort of morality system with that. Probably not. I feel like morality systems like that have kind of come and gone. But I just think adding the ability to switch it on and off would be kind of cool. But I also, again, I think Insomniac knows what they're doing. They definitely know that has already been done before. I'm sure they don't want to rehash some of the same old things. So I'm sure they have a new and fresh idea to go with it. And I'm more than happy to see what they can come up with. I really cannot wait. But that brings us to the end of the list, guys. I got some more ideas. A lot more ideas that I'd love to see in the game, but I just didn't really want to overflow this video and make it too long. I cannot wait until this game is officially announced. We know it's got to be sometime soon. I think within the next year we'll get it at the very least announced, and we know that it's going to deal with the symbiote in some sort of way. So I absolutely can't wait for the struggles we're about to see with Peter and Miles. I think they will add some kind of swap feature like that, like I talked about earlier, but I absolutely can't wait, and I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This has been Cubson.